Tensions between Canada and the United States have been steadily rising, especially after the Trump era. And in recent years, those tensions have only intensified. So today, we're diving deep into this topic to break it all down for you. Welcome to our channel, where we explore some of the most fascinating, and often controversial, stories shaping the world around us. The US-Canada relationship has always been a mix of collaboration and competition. From trade agreements to cultural connections, their shared history runs deep. But in 2025, things have taken a sharp turn. So, in this video, we'll reveal the 10 US states that harbor the most resentment toward Canada in 2025. But before we start, remember, we put a lot of effort into every single video. So, if you enjoy our work, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. Let's begin. Number 10. Texas. Texas, famous for its vast landscapes and powerhouse energy sector, finds itself clashing with Canada in multiple areas. The biggest battleground? Energy. Texas remains the oil and gas capital of the US, producing over 5.5 million barrels of crude oil daily in 2024. A massive 43% of total US output. Meanwhile, Canada has aggressively invested over $100 billion into renewable energy, giving its wind farms a 15% higher energy output per turbine than Texas facilities. On the political side, Texas's conservative policies, strict immigration laws and limited healthcare access, starkly contrast Canada's liberal stance, which includes welcoming 500,000 immigrants annually and maintaining universal healthcare. Polls show that 45% of Texans now view Canada unfavorably. Number 9. Florida. Florida, long a favorite destination for Canadian tourists, has seen its relationship with Canada sour dramatically. The result? A 15% drop in tourism revenue, costing the state nearly $930 million in just 6 months. Businesses in Orlando and Fort Lauderdale reported Canadian bookings plunging by 20%, devastating local economies. Florida's leadership fired back, accusing Canada of overreacting. Governor Ron DeSantis publicly criticized Canada's liberal policies, while residents expressed growing resentment. By mid-2025, 48% of Floridians held negative views of Canada, up sharply from 30% a year earlier. The situation worsened when Canada raised tariffs on Florida's $150 million citrus exports by 12%, and a viral #BoycottFlorida campaign gained traction across Canadian social media. Number 8. California. California, the Golden State and global tech hub, has found itself locked in fierce competition with Canada. Canadian cities like Toronto and Vancouver have rolled out generous tax incentives and streamlined visa programs, successfully luring companies and talent away from Silicon Valley. In 2025, major tech players like AI leader Neural and fintech innovator Paywave relocated north, citing 20% lower operational costs. This talent drain has left California with a 10% rise in tech job vacancies, particularly in software engineering and data science. Environmental policies have also become a sticking point. California's 2025 Water Conservation Act forced agriculture to cut water usage by 25%, while Canada's looser regulations allowed its forestry and farming sectors to remain competitive. Still, opportunities for collaboration remain. Both regions are committed to carbon neutrality, California by 2045 and Canada by 2050. And a proposed $500 million clean energy grid project could open the door to reconciliation. Number 7. New York. New York, a longtime trade partner with Canada, has seen its relationship sour over dairy and financial competition. Dairy farmers in New York accuse Canada of unfair subsidies, leading to a 25% drop in dairy exports to Canada, shrinking the market from $150 million in 2024 to just $112.5 million in 2025. This has caused farm closures and economic pain in rural communities. Meanwhile, Toronto has rapidly grown as a financial hub, outpacing New York in fintech startups, with over 300 companies to New York's 250. By 2025, 52% of New Yorkers expressed unfavorable views of Canada. Efforts to renegotiate trade terms are underway, but so far, progress has been slow. Number 6. Michigan, with its deep ties to the auto industry, has seen relations with Canada grow strained over economic competition. Canadian auto parts manufacturers have been accused of undercutting Michigan suppliers, leading to a 15% spike in unemployment in the state's auto sector in 2024. Roughly 12,000 job losses worth $1.2 billion in lost wages and taxes. A 2025 poll found that 55% of Michiganders now view Canada negatively. Yet, there is some hope. Number 5. Ohio's manufacturing base has been battered by Canadian competition. In 2025, over 20,000 manufacturing jobs relocated to Canada, leading to $1.2 billion in lost wages and tax revenue. Cities like Cleveland and Toledo were hit hardest, with factory closures leaving communities struggling. Ohio's agricultural sector is also under pressure. Soybean exports to Canada dropped 30% in 2025, costing farmers roughly $500 million due to Canada's subsidized grain market. Political and cultural clashes deepen the divide, with 58% of Ohioans now viewing Canada unfavorably. Negotiations are ongoing, but the future remains uncertain. Number 4. Pennsylvania, once the steel capital of America, is feeling the sting of Canadian competition. In 2025, Canadian firms like Stelco and Al Steel flooded the U.S. market with steel priced 30% below domestic rates, causing Pennsylvania's steel production to plummet by 20%. The state lost over 15,000 jobs, amounting to $1.5 billion in lost wages and taxes. With fewer than 50,000 steel jobs remaining, down from 200,000 during the industry's peak, resentment is growing. A poll shows 60% of Pennsylvanians now view Canada negatively. Governor Tom Wolf has pushed for a 25% tariff on Canadian steel imports, a move supported by 70% of residents. But such measures risk retaliatory trade actions from Canada. Number 3. Illinois, with its strong agricultural base, has seen exports to Canada drop 30%, from $2 billion to $1.4 billion in 2024. Farmers blame Canadian subsidies for driving down grain prices, leading to a 15% drop in soybean prices and a 20% rise in farm bankruptcies. Political negotiations have stalled, and a 2025 survey shows 62% of Illinois residents now hold negative views of Canada. Number 2. Washington State, sharing a border with Canada, has long had close ties. But disputes over lumber and tech have soured relations. Tariffs on Canadian lumber drove up housing costs, adding $15,000 to the price of a new home in 2025. At the same time, Vancouver's booming tech sector, growing 30% between 2020 and 2025, has drawn talent and investment away from Seattle. Environmental policy disagreements add more strain. A 2025 survey found that 65% of Washingtonians now view Canada negatively, up from 40% in 2020. Number 1. Minnesota. At the top of the list is Minnesota, a state that once enjoyed strong ties with Canada but now leads in negative sentiment. The turning point was the 2024 Great Lakes water rights dispute. Minnesota accused Canada of diverting water, causing a 15% drop in Lake Superior levels. Water rationing followed, costs rose 20%, and the state's $2 billion fishing industry suffered a 10% revenue hit. Then came an even bigger scandal. Leaked documents suggested Canadian interference in Minnesota's elections, with over $500,000 funneled into political groups and cyberattacks on voter systems. By 2025, 70% of Minnesotans viewed Canada unfavorably, the highest of any state. Negotiations continue, but tensions remain high. Closing thoughts. From energy rivalries in Texas to water disputes in Minnesota, each state's tension with Canada is shaped by a unique mix of economics, politics, and ideology. But these strained relationships aren't permanent. With open dialogue, fair trade practices, and cultural collaboration, there's hope to rebuild the historically strong bond between the US and Canada. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support our work and stay informed about the issues shaping our world.